This word holds a lot of weight. A lot of hate crimes are done by transphobic people. There are those who got killed. Countless lives have been taken away because of transphobia. They even say that the existence of trans people is something the devil created himself. What can we do to fix this problem? Hello, I'm Mackie of My Transgender Date, the #1 dating platform for trans women. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Today we're talking about a topic that's incredibly important and unfortunately still prevalent in our society: transphobia. In this video, we're going to explore what transphobia is, how it manifests in different forms, and what we can do to combat it and create a more inclusive place for everyone. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's first define what the word means. What is transphobia? Phobia is described as a feeling of aversion or an extreme fear of something. This could be in the form of people, places, experiences, and many other things. But transphobia is actually more complicated than that. Transphobia is the fear of diversity because of the hatred of transgender individuals. The concept even goes so far as to want to eliminate trans people from the world. People who feel this feeling towards trans people are usually described transphobic. What does transphobic mean? Transphobic is an adjective that describes a person, experience, or situation hating trans people, their experiences, and their existence. This word holds a lot of weight, so please be careful not to throw around this word to describe to someone. I mean, it would be unfair to them if they are not transphobic and you label them as such. If someone is unaware about trans issues, that may just mean they are ignorant, but that does not mean that they are hateful. There are some who are willing to learn, but may say the wrong things from time to time. There are many people whose religious upbringing has made them think of the LGBT+ community negatively. But don't be so quick to judge and label that all of them are transphobic. You will be surprised that some of them are open to understanding and acceptance. Another common misconception is that when people don't want to date trans people or have intercourse with them, they are immediately transphobic. No, they are not transphobic, and it is not wrong to have a personal preference or a type. People are allowed to be attracted to who they are attracted to, so they could be all the colors of the rainbow: plus size, skinny, Asian, American, etc. A person's attraction is their business. After all, we believe that #love knows no gender here. So what are the characteristics of transphobic people? Hey, just a disclaimer, I'm not trying to mention or shade any specific transphobic people, but if the shoe fits. Whoops! Here is the list of some common traits among transphobic people. They discriminate against trans people. They think trans people's mental health is not normal. They are prejudiced against trans people. They think it's okay for trans people to be assaulted because they deserve it. They have a strong belief that being a transgender is a choice. They think that trans people make other people confused of their gender and preferences. They believe that trans people can be cured out of their gender identities. They believe that trans people don't deserve the same rights as everyone else. They show disgust for trans people. They wish ill and harm to trans people. These are just some of the traits transphobic people exhibit. If you come across people who show those traits, you can either do two things. You can try to educate them by telling them how much of a negative impact their transphobic attitudes affects society. Or you can leave them be because they are just some people who refuse to understand. Learn to choose your battle because sometimes you think you are doing a good thing. You might also be putting yourself in a dangerous position. Which leads us to the topic of the effects of transphobia towards trans individuals. Transphobia isn't just like normal phobias where the person having the fear is the only one affected by it. No. In reality, this irrational fear and hatred of trans people does affect society and trans people as a whole. Here are some of the effects of transphobia. Causes depression among trans individuals. Gender dysphoria already causes depression among trans individuals. More than 50% of transgender teenagers think of taking their own lives because of depression caused by dysphoria. Imagine being a transgender teenager and having to deal with transphobia. Now, imagine that transphobia comes from people you love, like your family and friends. Some trans people's lives have been lost because they experience transphobia in their daily lives and from the people they thought they could trust to support them. Trans people being denied basic human rights. Transphobia and homophobia in different parts of the world happen on a grand scale. Many governments in the Middle East and some in other parts of Asia still deny LGBT people the right to study, work, have healthcare, marry, and basically live. Trans people get arrested, assaulted, and killed while incarcerated, all for being trans. Trans people being labeled as the devil. Fear-mongering religious transphobic people can often paint the trans identity in such a bad light. They even say that the existence of trans people is something the devil created himself. Let's get this straight. Trans people are not evil. Some of them are even religious. There are many evils in the world, and it's just ridiculous to equate trans people to thieves, rapists, abusers, murderers, and many more, being disowned by family and friends. There are so many trans people who got disowned by their families. Nothing can be more painful than having your parents and siblings cut ties with you. This shouldn't be happening to anyone. People should be able to live their truth and still be loved. Trans people need a good support system, and if people were more accepting, trust me, transgender suicide rates won't be as high as they are today. Experiencing rejection. Everyone experiences being rejected. It's such a common experience in dating and in real world that it's common theme for movies and songs. But trans people often face various rejections in different aspects throughout our lives. We can be rejected by family, friends, and even lovers. We often don't have a solution for the rejection of friends and family, but hey, for love, we can definitely find ways. And that is exactly why My Transgender Date was created. My co-founder Cyril and I wanted a safe space for trans women to find love in a safe, decent, and welcoming environment. So, even though trans people experience rejection in their life, at least this is one aspect we are happy to help with. The last but worst effect of transphobia on trans people is death. When you Google transgender news, it's not a surprise that there will be multiple news sites reporting on transgender violence and death. A lot of hate crimes are done by transphobic people. Some of these headlines have caused multiple protests, but the problem still exists. There are still trans people who experience violence. There are those who got killed. Countless lives have been taken away because of transphobia. And I will mention some of the transgender people who have died from these hate crimes. Jennifer Lottie from the Philippines was only 26 years old when she was killed by Joseph Scott Pemberton. He was a 19-year-old private first class who claimed that he killed Lottie because of self-defense after discovering she was a transgender woman. The regional trial court decided to reduce the verdict from murder to homicide due to the fact that Lottie did not reveal her gender identity. They added that the suspect's crime was only due to passion and obfuscation. They even reduced Pemberton's sentencing from 12 years to 10 years in jail. This case shows that transphobia still has no major repercussions, which is why transphobic people often take no consequences for assaulting or killing individuals. Jennifer Lauder's story is just one of the many in the world, and the list grows year by year. What can we do to fix this problem? One of the ways to do that through transgender and gender abuse support. If you know anyone experiencing abuse and want help, you might be able to save a life by looking up these organizations I'll be putting on screen and calling their hotlines. The Trevor Project, Trans Lifeline, LGBT National Help Center, Fenway Health Helpline. I will also be posting the links to these hotlines in the description box below. By learning about transphobia and its effects, I hope we can all work together to combat it and create a more inclusive and passionate world for everyone, regardless of gender identity. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. To spread more awareness on this particular issue, please share this video to your friends and family. Remember that your individual support can do so much help for the whole trans community. I also want to hear from you. Have you experienced or witnessed transphobia in your life? What were the steps you took to combat it? You know what to do. Let me know your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.